I'm Amanda Lipitz, and I'm the director and producer of STEP. I loved musicals growing up. I watched Mary Poppins and Wizard of Oz and Sound of Music religiously. I love Barbra Streisand and all things musical, and I had very supportive parents. But you know, even when you have the most supportive parents in the world, when you're a little girl and you love all those things, no one says to you, hey, you want to be a producer? You want to be a director? They put you in dance classes and singing lessons. That's what I did. And so for a long time, I thought I wanted to be an actor. But when I was in camp, I was doing choreography. I was choreographing musicals, and I loved it. I found great joy in telling other people what to do and having this vision of being a storyteller. But I went to Tisch School of the Arts, and I majored in theater, and I learned so much about telling stories. I actually studied Shakespeare for my last 2 years, and I really believe all great stories begin and end with Shakespeare's plays. Everything, they're all the tropes of stories in our lives, and the stories we tell all come from those basic plots. And I had a professor in my junior year tell a class, Amanda's gonna be a producer and we're all gonna be working for her one day.
It's not the first time the power's been out. I don't want to have to live like this. So I'm going to work my hardest to make it not happen in my life.
On the side of my Broadway career, I was making shorts about first-generation students going to college and girls' education. And I just found such joy and inspiration in those stories and telling the stories of what it meant to be the first in your family to do that. And the STEP team, when I saw them for the first time, it was for me, I wasn't familiar with STEP. I didn't know about the rich history of coming from, Africa and being a means of minors communicating, and now in America being a collegiate sport and something you earn by going to college and pledging. So I didn't know all of that, but I knew musicals. And so when I walked in and I saw them stepping, I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect marriage of my two greatest passions, musicals and when people can't speak anymore, they sing. And these girls, they were expressing their fears and their hopes and their dreams through STEP and telling stories of being the first in your family to go to school.
STEP is life.
So I think it's really interesting. Blesson started the STEP team in the 6th grade, and they were a group of girls by lottery going to a school that was just starting. They were the founding class of the school, but the school's mandate, the school's mission, Baltimore Leadership School's mission, is to send every student to college. So I think it's very subconscious that these little 11-year-old girls who wanted to go to a school that was going to send them to college started a STEP team in order to basically keep themselves connected to school. It was very much I think, self-preservation, survival instinct, subconscious thing. They knew it was something you did in college. So, I fell in love with them way before I even really knew about the STEP team. I met Blesson at 11, and she came over to me and said, I'm going to be on Broadway. So they really were used to me coming in and out of their school with cameras.
That taught me if you come together with a group of powerful women, the impact will be immense.
Get to the other side, to know how it feels to fly.
We stand here today on the precipice of the future.
I actually was filming with a group of schools in New York called the Young Women's Leadership Schools, and I was really inspired by these schools and their model of sending 100% to college. And I encouraged my mom to go look at those schools because I thought maybe she could replicate them in Baltimore. She had been an activist and educator in Baltimore my whole life, and I just felt like Baltimore could use a school like that. And I'm very lucky to have one of the strongest women in the world as my mom, and she did it, and she recruited her daughter to make films for her school.
Your knees are shaking when your heart is racing.
That taught me if you come together with a group of powerful women, the impact will be immense.
The culture of stepping in middle school, Coach G stepped in middle school. So the culture of stepping in middle school, high school has been growing and growing and growing. And I think really, there's step competitions all over the country, and thousands of kids do it. But stepping's for everybody, every person can step to be in school to do it.
STEP is life.